Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Jody Bike Tester here. Now I borrowed the NT1100 again for the weekend, but this is the 2025 version, and I've also done the Northumberland 250 on it, so I've had a good old ride of this bike, tested out the new DCT and had a good old play with the new electronic suspension. So stay tuned to see what I think.
Let's get one thing sorted before we start. The bike press do my head in, and one of the things that go on and on about is how long this dash takes to fire up. All those buttons on the left hand switchgear do stuff. So you pull away, you get yourself going, you wait for the blue line to appear, and you just press enter, and there you go. The dash is up and running, you haven't had to wait, and you're away. It does make me mad when they come out with things like this. Now that's off my chest, let's crack on and do a walk round. So let's find somewhere nice, pull over, and let's do it.
We've pulled over for 5 minutes, so let's have a quick walk round of this NT1100. Now this particular one is Newcastle Motorcycles demonstrator, so Honda do ask that we pop some bits on it. So this particular one is voyaged up. So you get your top box, your pad, your inner bag, your comfy rider seat, comfy pillion seat, comfy pillion foot pegs, spotlights, and you do get a tank bag as well, but we'll never fit them because it is a demonstrator. It does go out and about, so it'll never come back, will it? Somebody will whip a tank bag. Now at the front, you may have noticed it looks slightly wider in the actual nose because it has been reshaped. You've got better wind deflectors now. These are slightly bigger and wider. The screen, however, has got a bit smaller, and I do think it is a bit more buffety, but on the upside it's dead easy to adjust, because now you just pull that out and you just wiggle it down, and there you go. So out, wiggle, job's a good one. So yeah, people seem to be obsessed on doing this while riding. If it's me, I'll just pull over. I know which way it needs to go. If I've got too much wind protection on a boiling hot day like today, I need to move it down. If it's starting to rain, I want more protection, I'll just move it up. But I don't know why you have to do it while you're riding along, because trust me, it's a motorbike. I want to keep both my hands on the handlebars. So the front end's had a bit of a makeover. Now your indicators are missing, you may have noticed, because they are actually in your headlight now. So we'll pop the winkers on. So yeah, your wind indicators are built in now, and they look rather good if you ask me. So yeah, built-in indicators, and your panniers at the back have got bigger. If you didn't want to splash out in the top box, the theory is you can get your full face helmet in there, but always try it, because if you've got a big head, you'll have a big helmet, and that means it might not fit in. So please try before you buy. But yeah, a couple of good changes for 2025 to make the NT even better. Yes, the new 2025 NT1100 has gained last year's Africa twin engine. Now you may say, well, it's always had an Africa twin engine. Yes, but last year's Africa twin engine had 7% more shove than previous years, so they've popped that one in here. So yeah, you've got loads of oomph right where you need it, in the middle of the rev range. So for overtaking, for things like what I've just done, it's absolutely mega. So you've got loads of bottom end power, which is what you want on a tourer, because you're generally full of luggage, full of kit, so you want plenty of bottom end power, and boy does this have it. You've got 100 bhp, but you've got 112 newton meters of torque, which is the important bit. Torque is what you need on the road, and this fella has it by the truck full.
Now obviously Honda intended the NT as a tourer, so you want to know what you're going to get to a tank full. So according to the old internet, you've got 20 litres to play with. I like it in gallons. A UK gallon is 4.5 litres. So 4.5 divided into 20 gets you about 4 and a bit gallons. I was getting 55 miles to the gallon. So you're roughly going to get about 240 miles to a tank full, and I did.
No bit of YouTube content would be complete without the obligatory sound check. So let's have a listen to this NT1100. Now we'll have a flyby.
One of my little bits of info I do that everybody seems to love is my sitting test. So I think we'll crack on and we'll do that next. So here we go, the sitting test. One of the main reasons for doing this is you get to work out the dimensions of the bike with a body on it. So this body is 5'10" with a 32-inch inside leg. So I get on the bike. Now the good thing with the NT is it has sort of stool in the frame from the Africa Twin, so ergonomics are amazing. Nice high handlebars when I put my foot on the foot peg, look at that. Now as I said in the walk round, this is voyaged up, so that is the comfy seat. Now there's no difference between the comfy seat and the standard seat for seat height. So you've got 820mm seat height, so yeah, stand over stays exactly the same. And it was really comfy. What they have done for 2025 is though they have reshaped the tail end of it, so when you slide back there is more padding and even more comfort.
Maybe not as important on an NT1100 with all the pannier carrying capacity, but some people still like to know what's under your seat. So you unlock it down there. Obviously I've done it in advance because I need two hands to lift the seat. So there you go, what's under your seat on an NT1100, quite a bit of storage space. Pop your seat back on and off you go. So that's what's under your seat of an NT1100. Now for 2025 the NT1100's got a revised DCT gearbox, and trust me, you can feel it round town. It does seem to be a lot sweeter and smoother, but I have always put it into rain mode when riding around town because you get a softer throttle response, which is what you want when you're picking your way through the traffic. So for me, I go Sport 1, which means it hangs onto the revs how I like it to, into rain mode to get the nice throttle response, and the new DCT, it all works lovely around town.
One of the other changes for 2025 is they've popped an IMU in this fella now, so that even helps with the DCT, so there's no changing up or changing down mid corner. It also links the ABS and the traction control together. Now let's have a fiddle with the electronic suspension and I'll show you how to alter it.
One of the good things about this new NT1100 DCT comes with electronic suspension. So you use your key, all these keys here, and this is why you have so many keys, so you can mess around with it in the background. So we've gone sideways, so if I'll see if I can get it in there, I don't know if you can see, if I do that. So yeah, you use this key, center key, so we'll press enter. So that's your traction control. We're interested in the suspension, you go down. So at the minute it's one person plus luggage. You can probably hear it doing its thing. So these are your presets, you can alter it so it sorts out the damping appropriately, and that's all you got to do is use this little sideways, this one here, and as you can hear the suspension doing its thing. If you were sitting on it you would feel it moving up and down. Now you may notice that in touring you've got suspension hard. Come over there. So now if I push the map up, it's gone into urban, and you've got suspension medium. If we go to rain, you've got suspension soft. So again, if you use the power maps, you can alter your suspension however you fancy. Now if you really want to mess around with it, user 1 and user 2 you can program yourself, and as you can hear, it's setting itself up to whatever the previous person's settings were. Now if you want to do that, you use my pages button, which takes you into here. You go into settings, you go to function, user modes, user 1, in you go, and there you go. So there's your power, your engine, brake, and now you can mess around with overall suspension, front suspension, and trust me, you can fiddle away, rear suspension, preload, there's loads. So what you can do is you can move it about, and again you're using your keys here. I'll try and get them both in. So yeah, you can have a good old fiddle around with it, and it's as easy as that. Once you've set it up, you come out, and then you can have a go user 2. But if you make a right hash of it, you can go down to general, general, you go right the way down the bottom and restore default settings. So you could, if you wanted to, hit that and it puts everything back to how it was from the factory. So there you go, nice and easy. If you want to mess around with your suspension, you can do it all in the dash, and it's super adjustable.
My final thoughts on the NT1100. It is a Honda, does exactly what it says on the tin. You've got Apple CarPlay, so the technology, and it's dead easy to use, but please remember, use a data cable. So yeah, Apple CarPlay, there's Google Maps up and running, and then we also had a GPS app popped onto my phone. We've got the GPX file for the Northumberland 250, pop that in, and there we go, it's away. And it was dead easy to use and dead straightforward to follow. So again, technology, dead easy, it just works, which is what you want. Now let's get down to the important bit, the riding. This bike was full of everybody's kit. Because I had all the panniers, I was carrying my stuff and Alan and Lindsay's and everybody else. So I set my suspension, got it all lovely, it handled nice, it was plush. I could sit on this bike all day, and with this new motor with its extra bottom end, it dragged everything around seamlessly. Not a bit of hassle, not a bit of trouble, it just worked. And then you get out in the twisties, and again, even though it was carrying all the kit, it just did it. It handled nice through the corners. Again, that bottom end engine just punched out the corners lovely, and the new DCT with its IMU again just stands out on how well it works. The whole package is brilliant. If you want a tourer, if you want a bike that can do a bit of everything, this is the boy. So yeah, I would truly recommend the NT1100 for a bit of everything. I do hope you've enjoyed this bit of content. Bit longer than normal, but there's a lot on this new NT with its clever electronic suspension and things like that. But as usual, if you like what we're doing, thumbs up. If you love what I'm doing, please hit subscribe and keep watching. I've got loads of stuff on my channel. There's plenty to watch, so carry on watching, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye for now.